If you're over 50 and you've noticed you're losing strength or muscle mass, you're not alone. Sarcopenia or age-related muscle loss can start as young as age 30, but then it accelerates rapidly after age 60. The good news is there is something that you can do to stop it. But there are 3 non-negotiables that you cannot skip if you want to build muscle after 50. In this video, I'll explain what those are so that you can age strong and healthy. Non-negotiable number 1 is progressive resistance training. Most people know that lifting weights can help you get stronger, yet many people fail to get started because they don't know exactly what to do. And let me just first tell you that if you do any strength training, it's infinitely better than doing none at all. But if you want the best results, it needs to be 3 things. It needs to be difficult, it needs to be progressive, and it needs to be consistent. Research has shown time and time again, over 30 years of research, that the most consistent rep range that's good for older adults is 7 to 9 repetitions. And by 7 to 9 repetitions, I mean you can do 7 to 9 repetitions and no more, or at least not more than 1 to 2 repetitions more. With heavy compound exercises that focus on the large muscle groups, squats, bench presses, rows, those ones you have to be a little bit careful for safety, so it's okay if you have 1 or 2 repetitions left in the tank. But if you have more than 2 reps in reserve, you're probably not training hard enough to stimulate new muscle growth. Now, on safer isolation exercises like bicep curls or leg extensions, it is okay and probably even beneficial to train to failure on your last set. And as far as sets, you should be doing 2 to 3 sets of each exercise with 60 seconds rest in between sets. And then doing that consistently over time is what will produce results. You can start to see results in as little as 8 weeks, but people who see the best results train for a year or longer. So you need to be consistent. And then your training also has to be progressive. If you can only lift 5 pounds today, that's absolutely fine. You have to start somewhere. But over time, you want to progress that weight to 7.5 pounds, 10 pounds, 12.5 pounds, 15 pounds, so on and so forth. If you keep lifting the same 5-pound weights, you won't get any stronger. So your training needs to be difficult, it needs to be progressive, and it needs to be consistent with time. Now, one thing many people don't know about strength training is that it doesn't actually make you stronger. When you lift weights, you break down your muscle tissue, and that causes a stimulus to your body to build the muscles back stronger than they originally were. So it's not the training process that makes you stronger, it's the recovery process that makes you stronger. And one very important part of recovery is protein, which is the second non-negotiable. If you're trying to build muscle without protein, it's like trying to build a house without any bricks or wood. Protein is the raw materials that make up your muscles. And most older adults don't get enough of it. Newer research shows that the recommended dietary allowances, or RDAs, are well below what older adults need to build muscle. Research shows that older adults need 1.2 grams to 2.0 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. If you're more familiar with pounds, that converts to 0.55 to 0.91 grams of protein per pound of body weight. But to make the math easy and to make sure you're getting enough, if you shoot for the 0.7 to 1.0 grams per pound of body weight, you're probably going to be in the right range. That means for a 200-pound individual, you need somewhere from 110 and ideally 140 to 180 grams of protein per day. Now, as far as protein sources, it's easiest for most people to get protein from animal products. For example, beef, chicken, fish, eggs, dairy, those are all great protein sources. You absolutely can get enough protein from a vegetarian diet, but you have to be more careful to make sure you're getting all 9 essential amino acids. For example, beans are one of the most protein-dense vegetarian foods. But even beans have only 15 grams of protein per cup of cooked beans. So if you're trying to get 150 grams of protein, you'd have to eat 10 cups of beans. That's a lot of beans. But then keep in mind that beans are deficient in 2 essential amino acids, methionine and cysteine. Now you can make up for that by eating rice and beans, but when you combine rice and beans together, your protein goes down to about 7 to 8 grams per cup. So that would mean you need to eat 20 cups of rice and beans to get 150 grams of protein per day. And who's realistically going to do that? That's why for most people, animal sources are a little bit easier to get your protein intake in. But even eating 1.5 pounds of chicken per day can get a little bit tiresome. That's where incorporating protein snacks can be helpful. Protein shakes are one great option, but sometimes they don't travel very well. Another option that I've recently discovered are these 100% grass-fed beef sticks from Paleo Valley. They're naturally fermented, which makes them shelf-stable, so they travel well. And as a side effect of that fermentation process, they also contain gut-friendly probiotics. They're free from gluten, corn, dairy, soy, sugar, GMOs, basically everything you'd want them to be free from, they are. Except they're not fat-free. But grass-fed beef is higher in healthy omega-3 fatty acids than is grain-fed beef. It's also higher in conjugated linoleic acid, which is also good for your heart. And of course, they taste great. They're seasoned with organically grown spices, and they come in 5 different flavors. The jalapeno is my personal favorite, but they're all pretty good. I'd suggest trying several different flavors and finding the ones that you like best. And you can try them out by clicking my referral link in the description below to save 15% on your order. Another important factor in recovery is sleep. Sleep is the time when your body repairs itself, so you want to make sure you're getting enough quality and quantity of sleep. As far as quantity, you should be getting 7 to 9 hours each night, and you should feel rested when you wake up in the morning. If you're getting enough sleep but you don't feel rested, you might consider talking to your doctor about having a sleep study to rule out sleep apnea. However, there are some lifestyle factors that can help you sleep longer and better. One is just getting some exercise each day. Just 20 minutes of exercise can help you to sleep better at night. And if you exercise outside, getting pre-noon sunlight can help regulate your circadian rhythms or sleep-wake cycles. Additionally, you want to try to limit caffeine to no more than 1 to 2 cups of coffee per day or the equivalent. And ideally, you want to try to consume that before lunchtime because caffeine has a long half-life, meaning it stays in your body for a long time. Furthermore, keeping your bedroom cool and dark helps your body to sleep better at nighttime. And you want to establish a calming bedtime routine. That helps prepare your body for sleep. That might include soft music or a warm, non-caffeinated beverage, and limiting blue lights at nighttime. That means limiting screen time on phones, tablets, or even television. And if you need to use those things, wearing blue blocker glasses can help, or even yellow or red tinted glasses. Blue lights make your body feel like it's high noon. If you think about a bright sunny day with a bright blue sky, and then think about what you see at nighttime during a sunset. You see yellows, oranges, and reds. So that light stimulus, whether it's blue or whether it's red, can help subconsciously trigger your body that it's time to be awake or it's time to be asleep. And then finally, you want to establish a consistent sleep and wake cycle. So going to bed at the same time and waking up at the same time each morning, even on weekends, can better train your body to know when it's time to sleep and when it's time to be awake. So in review, the 3 non-negotiables to build muscle after 50 are progressive resistance training, adequate protein intake, and adequate sleep. If you'd like to learn specific exercises to help you build muscle, check out this video over here. But before you go, if you found this one helpful, make sure to give it a like, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel so you get notified of my future tips. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.